Alien support cruiser of your service. Destroy the vermin. Enemy colonizers, stop them. Fight to your death.
The self-destruct sequence has been activated.
Damn!
Anti-aircraft. Situation is under control.
Save our mothership or we are stranded on this planet.
Fast reload activated.
Direct. Target destroyed.
French fires, annihilated with your armor piercing. Well fought, soldier. Return to base.
Roger that.
Hey guys, welcome back. My name is BobLyn and this is episode 18 of Cruisers of Blitz. Today we're taking a look at the Terminator ship Buffalo. And I hope you enjoyed the montage. I am lucky enough to have the space camo, so that's why I went with this evil robot Terminator theme. Because this thing terminates everything. It's just a beast. Let's take a look at the stats here. It's quite, you know, healthy. Not the tankiest ship, but you can take some salvos. You know, one or two broadside hits is enough. Probably a third you won't survive. You got decent maneuverability. It's kind of like a bigger Des Moines because you get an extra turret, as you can see. This thing has 12 203mm guns that have 12.4 kilometers range, and they reload in 8 seconds, so that's 2 seconds more than a Des Moines. They do 666 HE damage, and the AP is amazing on this thing. This thing is both a fire starter and an AP powerhouse. I went with the internal bulkhead upgrade, and yeah, they're not the best elite bonuses, but yeah, take the one in the middle. The historical camo gives the stats, so if you want to really maximize this thing, you gotta get the space camo for it because you get better shell characteristics. The details, you get 3 of these rapid reload 2, which make the Buffalo an absolute menace with 12 203s. You gotta see it kind of like a Hindenburg with better HE, almost as good AP, and yeah, just faster reload. You can see it gets a defensive fire too. It increases the damage by 100%, so the AA on Buffalo is actually okay. It's not the best, but it will kill some planes, and that's awesome. For the supplies, I went with the high grade coal instead of preventive maintenance pack. You can take health if you want. For the equipment, I went with dispersion mod since I like hitting my shells, steering gear, and surface detection. Now you could also play with prop mod instead of steering gears. That's up to you. If you don't want to go surface detection, you can also go traverse, double traverse it's called, and then prop mod in the middle. But I really urge you to take surface detection since it is obviously the best here in this situation. You want to be able to disengage. For my commander, we have a normal commander, and he's got underwater protection expert, and you know, that's pretty standard. Torpedo alert, artillery maintenance, air defense expert, fire supremacy, exploit weakness. We went for fully prepared, and then of course we have adrenaline rush, which is awesome. Now in this section I went with close quarters combat expert because it's an old commander, but I would actually take demolition expert. Then we have master reloader, very important. APCS, also very important, and then citadel strike. And I can see that I actually have enough to reset this guy, so why don't we just reset him right here, right now. So let's see, we got that one. Torpedo alert, yeah, we could take another defensive fire, but no. Let's just run through this. Survivalist, not survivalist, let's take fire supremacy. There we got adrenaline rush, and there we go, demolition expert. I think that's just going to be better overall, taking demolition expert, because you don't really use the secondaries that often, although they are powerful. They are very powerful. So I'm going to end up taking citadel strike instead. But yeah, that is the setup on my Buffalo. Let's hop into the first game here, and I got some awesome games for you guys. Alright, so the first game we got coming up here is with the Mercs guys, and we're playing with a CV versus a CV, so that's going to be fun. There's a lot of battleships on the enemy team, and that's always good when you're playing this Buffalo, because Buffalo is essentially a Des Moines with an extra turret and a 2-second longer reload. They act kind of like the same ship in terms of DPM and damage wise, because Des Moines can also crank out a lot of shells just because it has a 2-second shorter reload. Des Moines reloads in 6, as this one reloads in 8. But you get an extra turret with this thing, which is quite powerful when you have 203mm. So with Buffalo, it was actually the first tier 10, I think tier 10 premium in the game, and a quite embarrassing story from yours truly right here, Mr. BobLyn, is I actually went ahead and purchased the Buffalo before I even had a tier 8 back when I started playing. So I am very, very, you know, guilty of doing some of the worst things you could do, and I found out very quickly that I was not ready for tier 10. So I remember when I had this thing first, I didn't really play it because I just died all the time. And I think that was a good choice that I stayed in my lower tiers before I went out to play Buffalo, because once I actually had the hang of what to do in a cruiser, I found out this is a very, very powerful ship. I have gotten many 120k plus games in this thing throughout my Blitz career. It was, like I said, one of my first ships, so I've had this for a while. Now I actually had a crap ton of footage saved up from you know, just playing over the years from this ship only, but I have recently increased my graphics on BlueStacks, so I deleted all of them to get new footage. So it was actually a joy playing the Buffalo again. I know Red Gaming Dino just purchased it. My friend Klister Carl also just purchased it a couple weeks ago, and people are just surprised by how powerful it is. So here you see this Des Moines pushing broadside in, and that's something you want to capitalize on in a Buffalo. You see these AP shells, they just do consistent damage. It's not at this range you're gonna get citadels all the time, but you will still do a lot of damage. And this Republic has pushed in, and I see he's on a permaflood, so that immediately means HE time, baby. You see we instantly get a fire. This ship just sets fires en masse because you have those 12 guns, and Des Moines is already a good fire starter, right? Well, imagine having an extra turret. That just means you increase the chances of getting a fire. That Republic went down very quickly, and now a Schlieffen is pushing his nose out. Something you also don't want to do with a Buffalo. We instantly get a fire on him, and that means our CV can now punish him. But I noticed that there are two people flanking very, very hard on this left side of the map. And it's a Montana and a Dubuque, and Montana can definitely hurt you. You're not invincible in this ship, but that being said, you're not the squishiest either. You can take some fights, and you saw in that montage we took on a full health Republic with about, what was it, 80%, 85% HP. We did die, but we also took him out. That's what the Buffalo can do. In a clutch situation with very, very low HP, it can absolutely destroy somebody with full HP because you have the rapid reload. And you see us using it here. We are just sending out shots to different targets. We actually didn't get that Des Moines, but he was low. And there we go, that's the first Citadel. And you see these shells, man, because you have so many, they just dumpster people. And that's why I love the Buffalo. It's a really solid, consistent cruiser, but it can be quite difficult to play in this meta sometimes, especially when you're new to the Buffalo. because it's a big ship. It doesn't have the most range. 12.4 kilometers is not the longest. That's also one of the problems of the Des Moines. So you really have to be quite, you know, close to your enemy actually, and battleships will have a very easy time hitting you because it doesn't accelerate too well, especially not with my build because I run steering. But even with, you know, prop mod, I think you're gonna find that juking battleships is a little bit harder than playing your Worcester or something else. This is a big ship, and big ships also deal a lot of damage most of the time. Some don't, but at least this one does. And the game you're gonna see after this one is gonna be my highest damage and the fleet record actually. So, well, not no, it wasn't the fleet record. Sorry, it was like 1 or 2k off, but still a very high damage game nonetheless. So here we're gonna see a 1v1 with a Montana. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. Just look at that damage. With the rapid reload stacking up, you hit down into their deck. You see we can take this guy out very fast. He has a rapid reload himself, but it's just not enough when you got this consistent firepower raining down on you. And the final piece of the puzzle here of the enemy team is the Hakuryu here, the mothership. We take out the mothership so they can't return to their planet. That is pretty much what you do. And the Buffalo, man, if on broadside targets, it's the most fun. At this range, you just sit there and hope for a Citadel crisis. It's very likely. I mean, we have APCS, my bad. And you just see that damage, man. Look at those shells, chunk. Such a fun ship, man. I love the Buffalo. It's my top 3 most played ship. So yeah, I've played this quite a lot. Let's move on to the next game, and this one is a gem, guys. This next game I forgot to hit record in the loading screen, but guys, that doesn't matter. It's a full player game. We get 140k damage, and here I'm just changing back from my CV setup. Yeah, apparently I had been playing CV, Return to the Buffalo, to get some, you know, my sanity back. This is where I belong, on the ocean. Anyways, this is a perfect map for Buffalo. There's islands, there's a lot of caps, and that's what you want in the Buffalo. Something to keep note of is you are gonna have a very hard time using your AP at long range versus GKs and stuff like that. Stick to HE there. Battleships at very long range, generally I use HE because what you can do is you can shoot, you know, your 2 front turrets and 1 BB, and your back turrets at another BB, and then you can see if you can get a fire on both, damage con, boom, and then you can use your rapid reload to set maybe a double or triple fire on both of them, which is extremely powerful, and that's how you get these high damage games. But to start out with, we have this Harugumo who pushed in thinking he was safe because cruisers normally don't go this close to the cap, but this thing has very, very good potential to kill destroyers with its AP. This is like the perfect sweet spot range. You don't want to go below 6 kilometers, but at least not 5, because then your shells will overpen, so that's where you gotta swap to HE. But at that range you saw we hit that Harugumo for 800 damage per hit, which is a lot for a DD. And this Prince Ruprecht here is also just getting pushed out. I'm swapping to HE here simply because I want to see if I can get a fire before he leaves. That would just be the ideal situation. So the Buffalo playstyle is, you know, you want to hang back with your team in the beginning because you don't want to sacrifice your health. Because your health is something you're going to need later in the game when you might have to brawl a full health cruiser, maybe Stalingrad, Moskva. Something that has more health than you, more pen than you, but if you have your rapid reload and a lot of HP, you can actually take them out very easily. A 1v1 with cruisers especially is almost guaranteed if you have your rapid reload and you can dodge torpedoes. You know, it also depends on the enemy you're facing. Of course, if you're facing a Minotaur and a smoke, you're gonna have to focus a lot more and you're gonna have to decide if you want to leave. But if you're facing a Genon, you know he's gonna shoot torpedoes, you know he's gonna use his fuel smoke. You just gotta predict where he is, and the Genon is probably one of the easiest targets for this thing. Something I also love shooting at, as you can see, his Lions. British battleships are not the most tanky, and in this situation I'm using HE because he's over 10 kilometers away, and I don't want to waste my time, you know, half penning, over penning. So I'm just gonna shoot HE, and look at all these fires, man. We're just lighting him up. He is also sailing full broadside, so it's inevitable. But look at this already. We're we just got into, you know, 3 minutes into the battle and we're already at 62k damage. So this is looking to be a pretty good game. And you see me use the islands here. You know, I tend to stick around this place right here. I don't want to go too much further than this, because you see there's a Colombo, you see there's DDs out there. And the brunt of my team, at least the BBs, are in this vicinity. So at this point, I'm going to get focused now, because if I go further than this, they're going to see a big, juicy Buffalo, and they're going to shoot at it. If you're a BB player, you've seen the Buffaloes out there. They're pretty big and very easy to hit. They got a large freeboard, and they got a big superstructure too. So even if you don't hit perfectly, you'll still get some hits. We rapid reload this guy because he damage conned, and I want to get a fire before I leave this place. I see an enemy battleship on my port side, my left side, so I have to go now. And you will see we just took a citadel there from the, I think it's a Republic. But we got a triple fire on Colombo, so now I gotta swap to AP, and well, this is partly my fault and the Yasumo as well, because we both were tunnel visioned, so we're kind of stuck here now. But this guy, this Colombo, is losing health quick. Just look at that. The AP chunks him. You can easily, you know, 1v1 a Colombo with Buffalo at close range. If it's an isolated fight and you just bow in, he's gonna have a hard time with that 30-second reload, and you can just keep pummeling him with that AP. Same with Republic. I mean, you can hear me, guys. I absolutely adore this ship. I think Buffalo is a menace, and I know people that have gotten it are like, what the heck is this thing? It's sleeper OP. It definitely is. But you can see it also hurt. It takes damage. It's not tanky. It's not like a Hindenburg where you can take more hits. This thing will blow up if you are not careful. And you can see the angle I'm maintaining here on this Republic. I don't want to show him too much of my side. But to get all my turrets off, I have to expose myself a little bit. But you can see he's moving forward, so it actually makes it easier for me to reverse and keep my angle up. But now I've swapped to AP and rapid reload up, triple fire on this guy, and now it's just time to, you know, hurl away. One salvo in. He gets a salvo there, but that's our witherer. Look at that, guys. Boom! 141,000 damage, and he goes down. Buffalo is the Terminator. It destroys anybody who dares enter its vicinity. If you have your rapid reload, which that's why you need fire supremacy to get an extra, so you have 4 instead of 3, you can pretty much 1v1 anything. I would say GKs, Vermonts, they are a little bit harder because they can, you know, get a lucky salvo in, or at least the Vermont can. You know, whereas the GK, if you just get too close, that's where you want to be with the GK, because it's just that tanky. You're in danger of getting, you know, mauled by his secondaries. So there are some ships you can't 1v1, but DD's easiest, you know, is the easiest day. You just load HE close range, rapid reload, secondaries. Yeah, they stand no chance. If they're further away, you just use your AP. Here I'm trying to blind fire this DD. You can see I was pretty hungry for some more damage, because I'm pretty sure I knew the record was like 1 or 2k damage away. At least the fleet record, and yeah, I really wanted it, but I don't think we're gonna find this DD, at least from my memory. But I am pretty sure this video has demonstrated the power of this ship, and if you are looking for a fun cruiser to actually also learn the playstyle, because this ship is not, you know, the easiest to play either. You will get destroyed, and we also go down here, unfortunately, because yeah, we got too greedy, but it don't matter. We are still gonna win this game, and we got 144,000 damage. Pretty sure it's 146k on the Corsairs fleet records, so that one's a bummer, but anyway, still a great game. And yeah, also I hope you enjoyed it for your viewing pleasure. Let's take a look at the battle statistics here. So you can see we got a witherer, and we got only 1 citadel, but 249 hits, and that equates to 44,000 fire damage, 98,000 main battery hits. That should say something. And here's the scoreboard. So yeah, the Buffalo is, quite frankly, powerful. So my friends, I hope you enjoyed this video. I love making Cruisers of Blitz, so I'm gonna, you know, keep them kind of separated. Next up is the Guden Lu, and after that we're gonna do probably Marseille, depending on Jinan, because if Jinan comes out, you know, soon, then I'm probably gonna do that first, because I have so much footage and I love Jinan. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like I said, leave some comments, feedback if you've played this ship. my name has been BobLyn, and I am signing out.